Hey y'all, it's me, Chronic again. Anyway, welcome everyone to the second actually good video on the channel. Like the second professional one. Okay, so as some of you know, I'm stuck like juggling like 3 other video projects right now, including a Christmas video, a collab with NG, and another video with my friend Gay. So I just need to pump a video out right now so that it's not as empty and barren, so that people don't stop looking and watching the channel, because then I would be sad. So whatever. Yeah, anyway, I just decided to read a shitty creepypasta because I'm bored and I feel like ripping and tearing into a creepypasta, because fuck creepypastas, they suck now. If you debate me in the comments, guess what? I'm not gonna take you seriously. I'm gonna call you a little stinky poop fart. Whatever. Anyway, here's a lot of stuff. Get to the fucking vid. Yuck. Pokémon Lost Silver by some guy named Maxwell. I trust that. You see, I am a simple college student living alone in an apartment. I was very enthusiastic to hear about the release of Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver here in the States. I purposely locked myself out of all media in the internet aside from school purposes. That means no 4chan. Huh? Reddit alert. That means no 4chan, no /V, no Bulbapedia, etc. As I was busy with the school year and being poor at the time, I wasn't able to buy Soul Silver on its launch date. After the school year ended, I ordered Soul Silver on Amazon. However, it would take a week to arrive. I decided that during that time I would replay my Crystal version on my Game Boy Color. However, I realized that long ago my mom threw it away because I told her that the save went dead. Oops. And I was very upset about it back then. I slammed my hands on the counter and I fucking threw her against the wall. Bitch. She also threw away my silver version. So all I have left is my Game Boy Color and my mother's mutilated corpse on the ground because I hate that fucking bitch! Fucking hate you, Mom! You threw away my fucking Game Boy! As such, I sat at the GameStop and bought a used silver version. And it's the only Pokemon game left that they have for the Game Boy Color. $10, really cheap. This author must live in 2004, where Game Boy Color games were still available at GameStop. I went home and started up for a nostalgia trip. However, that's where things started getting bizarre. And most likely the reason why you're reading this. The Game Freak logo started up as normal, but it just froze there. I thought the card just errored or something, so I turned it off and on. Same thing happened. I tried pressing A and start over and over again, and all the buttons, and nothing worked. Eventually my mother came in the room and said, "My son, listen, we have technology." Then she grabbed my PC setup and started smashing my Game Boy Color with it. It eventually worked. I was already in the game. Suddenly, rather than going to the usual menu screen, I was already in a game in a previous save file. Which is odd because, you know, this cartridge came from GameStop, aka hell. So, I mean, these probably would have been wiped, but no, I guess not. Poor battery. Either way, I wasn't complaining, as I would have chosen the continue option to see what the previous guy did anyway. First off, I checked his trainer information. His name was just an ellipses. And to all you fucking idiot children out there that don't know what an ellipses is, I'm not gonna tell you. He didn't have much originality. Fucking edgelord. I checked his profile and apparently he had 999 hours and 99 cents into the game with all 16 badges, a lot of money, with all 251 Pokemon in the Pokedex. Seeing as he apparently had Mew and Celebi also logged in, I'm guessing he just used a game genie or was super fucking hardcore Pokemon player, literally played nothing but it. Mega virgin. I checked his Pokemon to see what a badass team he had, and to my surprise, I just saw 5 unknowns. 6 Pokemon named Hurry, haha. Thinking that this must be some kind of cruel joke, haha, by the person who played this game last. I decided to check all the profiles. As expected, they were all different letters of unknown, all level 5. I was a bit shaky with the unknown alphabet at the time, but I identified the word spelling out to be leave. If we had one more, we could have been leaves. That would have been, you know, it's like, what gets lost in the silver of the winter? All the orange leaves. That's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever said. God damn it, that's the dumbest shit. Oh, god damn it. As for the 6th Pokemon, it just turned out to be a Cyndaquil. And mind you, this is before there were individualized Pokemon icons. Thanks for telling us, author. The Cyndaquil looked normal, but it was level 5 with only 1 HP left and only 2 attacks. Leer and Flash. Why won't Gardevoir use Flash on me? I don't know why they named him Hurry. I'm sorry, Hurry! Hurry! But at the time I disregarded it. The most eerie thing was, though, despite my volume being at max, none of the Pokemon had said their usual cries. Just pure silence. Having enough of the team, I closed the menu. It was parked at what appeared to be a room inside Bellsprout Tower, however. For some reason, there were no NPCs around. Even more eerie was that the pillar in the middle didn't move at all. It was just leaning on its side. There was no music at all. There was just no exit or ladder. At least I thought there wasn't. I walked around for a few minutes, but I couldn't seem to find a way out. It said, okay, specifically, I walked around for a few minutes, but can't find a seam. But I couldn't seem to find a way out. Dumb shit, fuck. This was certainly not a room I've seen in the Bellsprout Tower before. I tried checking my items for an escape route, but it was completely empty. There wasn't even any wild Pokemon either. Finally, I managed to find a ladder, which turned out to be behind the pillar. I don't know why the author keeps, keeps putting it in quotations. It is a pillar. Yeah. What the fuck else would it be? The screen turned black and the music finally started playing. I had a sudden chill run down my spine, cold, as I recognized that melody I heard to be the theme when you listen to the radio at the Elf Ruins where the unknown are at. Immediately I realized, dumb fuck, that I wasn't loading the transition, but rather I was just in a dark room. I would probably need to use Flash. Before I took care of that, though, I immediately checked my Pokegear to change the radio to something more pleasant. But turns out there was no radio card, or even a phone, or any time cards. There was only a map card in which Gold, or Ellipses from earlier, as which I will call him Gold from now on. Couldn't even stay consistent. Okay, not judging, just saying. I was just walking in on a mist of black. I recall that Cyndaquil has Flash, so I turned off my Pokegear and made Cyndaquil use Flash. I didn't see any message saying, Hurry has used Flash or anything like that. The room just became lit like that. Lamau. I soon regretted it. The room was a chilling blood red with a linear gray path leading south. The ladder I used to go up and down was not there at all. I had no choice but to head south. The screen got darker yet darker every 20 steps I made. I took, until I finally made it to the end, which appeared to be a sign. I read the sign. Which appears to be a sign. I read the sign, or I read the sign, which said, turn back now. Also, I'm just gonna point this out right now, this story is really fucking inconsistent when it comes to capitalization, like the beginning of words, and it's pissing me off the more that I look at it. This is just making me madder and madder the more that I ignore it, so I just need to point it out now. Suddenly, I was asked to answer yes or no. There was no question asked, so I chose yes for the lulz, not knowing what I was asking. And the screen went black again, making a ladder climbed up sound. The unknown music radio stopped, and in a few seconds it was replaced with the not as creepy Pokeflute radio music. Good. I was in another dark room, but I held my breath and used flash again. Suddenly it said, "Hurry, he has fainted." Fuck. Which was odd, since there was nothing affecting him. There was no status conditions. No poison, no nothing. He's just dead. Checked my Pokemon quickly, and suddenly he's no longer at my party. In fact, after a bit of investigating, none of the Pokemon are there. All replaced with level 10 unknowns. I did the same as before, spelled out the unknown. Then my team of unknowns spelled out, "He died." Sucks to suck, I guess. Fucking D tier pet. Either way, after that creepy change, the room was lit to reveal myself in a very small room that appears to be only 4 squares big. The wall of the room were gray bricks, as if I was inside something that was hollowed out. Outside the room appeared to be just a bunch of graves similar to the ones in red and blue. I walked around the small room, pressed A, but nothing happened. I already concluded that this was clearly a hacked game and some sadistic fuck sold it to GameStop.
That fucking psychopath. I bet he's like the Joker on crack.
However, my curiosity kept me going. I checked the trainer profile of Ellipses again, not even consistent in his inconsistency, again only to find out that the sprite of Gold was missing his arms. Damn, he couldn't blown off a numb. He also seems to appear less smug, like most people would after losing their arms. He seems more sad and empty in a way that I don't know how to describe. Maybe like whenever you lose your arms. For some reason, it was also now that he had 24 badges, which was clearly impossible. After a few minutes of aimless wandering, my character suddenly span around and did the escape rope spinning animation. Instead of flying up, it went down, as if sinking in a hole that leads to underground. After that screen, all music stopped. After finally landing, the overworld sprite of Gold is colored differently now. Instead of the usual red color he dons, he appears completely white now, including his skin, as if he came straight from the colorless Game Boy games, placed into a colored background of Game Boy Color, except no, because they would have different shades of green, you dumb shit fuck. I checked his profile, and while now is as white as his overworld sprite. He lost his legs and what appears to be bloody tears from his eyes. It also says that he has 32 badges, which now starts to disturb me, and this change of number seems to represent something important, blah blah blah. I also checked my Pokemon, which this time contains 5 unknowns and a level 100 Celebi without a nickname. The unknown are at this time level 15 and spelling out dying. I checked the Celebi's profile. It was a shiny Celebi, except only half of the sprite. 1 leg, 1 arm, 1 eye, and had 1 attack. Perish Song. The area I was in was Sprout Tower again, with the immobile pillar as before. I'm sorry, as the author would describe it, pillar. Except everything is apparently red now. I walked north what felt like forever. I encountered some generic men and women NPCs doing the dirty. They were all lined up to the side, just facing the long slantish pillar in the middle, admiring it, loving its craftsmanship, adoring it. They were also all Caucasian, and nothing happens when I try to speak to them, as usual. I kept going up north until eventually the pillar finally appears chopped off. The transparent red in that spot, which can't happen because Game Boy Color games can't display transparency. They can't do that. They're ink-based, like LCD. I went up to red, and without even pressing A, I was suddenly engaged in a battle. Finally, the music starts again, which it sounds like the unknown radio music again, but played backwards. Oh no, Gold's battle back sprite matches the one with his bloody eyes, white skin, lack of arms, Caucasian, fucking cracker, while red sprite was the same as Gold, Silver, and Crystal, except transparent, which again, can't happen. The text simply said, "Wants to battle," as if he had no name. And both of us only had 1 Pokemon each, which was weird because I swore I had 6 unknowns and also 30 other ones. I don't know, they just keep dying. My shiny Celebi came out conveniently with half a sprite for the back sprite. How's that convenient? The shiny noise and animation was different, as the sounds it made sound like multiple screech attacks. been used consecutively. Red sent out a seemingly normal male Pikachu, except he's level 255. And his sprite seemed to be sad and had tears in his eyes, and also was holding a knife and a gun and had double ears and went rather than the usual fight, item, Pikmin, run menu was only given the option to use the attacks. Since Celebi only has one, I chose it naturally. Since Pikachu was level 255, he went first. Pikachu used Curse, lowering his speed and increasing his other stats. I'm not even sure if Pikachu could use Curse. Herm, what the scallop? That's not normal. Herm, this must be a hacked game. Celebi used Perish Song. In 3 turns, both Pokemon got KO'd. Not like I have a choice. At this point, I didn't even go back to the fight menu, as the battle just continued without me. Also, no, there were no animations at all for some reason. Pikachu used Flail, which didn't do much damage despite his level and boosted his health was maxed. Celebi used Perish Song, nothing happens as it was already used. Pikachu used Frustration, which did a shit ton of damage, knocking Celebi down less than 10 HP. Chronic used Frustration with his fucking story being so shit. Celebi used Pain Split. Celebi used Pain Spit, which surprised me as Celebi didn't even have that attack in the first place. And now Celebi and Pikachu have about 150 HP. Herp-de-derp-de-derp. Pikachu used Mean Look. Oh man, he's giving her the stink eye. Watch the fuck out. Not like that did anything. As expected, due to the effects of Perish Song, my Celebi fainted, except in the text it said Celebi had died, and instead of the ordinary drop off the screen animation, the Celebi back sprite just vanished. For some reason, the Pikachu was still up even with Perish Song, and it didn't count as my loss. Oh, well, that's good for me. Pikachu used one more different attack beyond his 5 attack limit. Pikachu used Destiny Bond. Afterwards it said, Pikachu has died! Slow fade out animation. Apparently I was the winner, as the transparent red sprite showed up and said, dot 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 dot. At that point I freaked out, as transparent red sprite was suddenly beheaded, leaving nothing but his transparent body. Uh-oh. And then the battle ended, and at this point it faded out along with the music. I'm back to the overworld with another change to the gold sprite. He's now as transparent as Red's overworld despite being a fucking white boy. I quickly checked Gold's profile, which the only thing remaining of him was his head with transparent skin. Oh no. I have a skin condition now. Oh. The eyes were zoomed in a bit, showing a black void in his eyes, and now stated that he has 40 badges. I then backed out and checked my Pokemon. They were all level 20 shiny unknowns, which when spelled out, read no more. God damn it, there's still so much fucking text. God damn it. I was at what I now know is next to the end. There was apparently no music playing, but for some reason I still felt like something in the background could be heard. I was in the back of my room in New Barktown. Finally, I could get to play this game properly. Who am I kidding? I knew this sadistic fuck must have done something. I walked around my room to interact with things, as I'm a bit afraid to go down the stairs to see what was waiting down there. Note, I said walked, as while the background was moving, Colt was not moving his transparent limbs at all, while doing so, just floating around like those ghosts you see in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Or X and Y, since, you know, that ghost in the Trump Tower. As expected, the radio, computer, and TV did not fucking work. Goddamn ghosts! So I had no choice but to go down the stairs. I ended up in the same lower level room as my house, except everything appears normal. Except my MILF of a mother is gone. Except Mom isn't home. Left to go get milk. After failing to interact with anything in this room, I decided to go outside. To my surprise, the door leading outside at the south didn't work. Instead, I just walked straight through it to a void. I continue moving south to see what the fuck was going on. My house vanishes, and I head south into the void. It was creepy, as when I entered the void, the outline on Gold's transparent sprite turned white to contrast with the pitch black. Eventually, I reached the gold area. I reached a white area, and Gold's sprite turned black and transparent again. I continued south without thinking of stopping at all. After a long Star Trek south, I finally encountered something. It was Gold's regular sprite. I talked to it. He said, "Goodbye forever, ellipses." Notably with a space in between the forever and the ellipses. And then vanished. As that happened, it said, question mark, used nightmare, which at that point I could not deny that being possible. Huh? Gold did another escape rope animation, spinning slowly downwards like before. I'm now back in that small hollowed out room surrounded by graves earlier, or at least I said I was back there, as there was no sprite anymore. I tried to walk around, but nothing moved. Not even a wall bumping noise. I checked my trainer profile, and there was no gold sprite left. It said that I had 0 gym badges left, and all the pictures of the Johto gym leaders at the bottom were replaced with skeletons. Doot, 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 doot. I checked my Pokemon, which were all level 25 unknown. As expected, it spelled out a phrase that I dared to read. I'm dead. As soon as I went back to the overworld, the room I was supposedly in was then covered with the same blocks as the walls. I then figured out what exactly the room was when the final text said, "Rip. Rip Van Dyke Show." The room was a big grave, surrounded by other graves. Gold has already been dead. He died presumably a few years after he defeated Red of tuberculosis, exiled to an island with stomach cancer, just like Napoleon. He was a few years old. He was a young trainer who, despite his efforts in collecting so many badges and attempts to become a Pokemon master, was still unable to avoid the inevitable fate of death. Oh, poor Gold. Dicks out for Gold. All his efforts were eventually forgotten by the next generation. Tears out for you, boy. Drinks out for you. Dicks out for Gold. Dicks out for Gold. I was unable to escape from that text, no matter what I pressed. I tried resetting the game. Same thing happened, which I then finally decided to give up on that horrible nightmare. After that experience, I will never look at the gimmick unknown the same way again. They say that only the first generation have folktales and legends, but the second generation have shown me how unpleasant the truth can be. But the second generation has shown me how unpleasant the truth can be. I eventually enjoyed Soul Silver immensely, but I still can't unthink of what that rigged game has told me. Boo, piss and shit and fart and cum. Boo 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 boo. Mommy, this video game made me have an existential crisis. Boo boo. Wah 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 wah. Shut your fuck up. Fucking baby. Toddler moment. Toddler. Okay, let's do a critical review of this. There were a lot of spelling errors. Capitalization was incredibly random, and it pissed me off very immensely. That's an automatic 1 point removed. So we're already at a 7 at this point. Because I was you know what? We were at a 7 from the story just being okay-ish. Like, it has some good parts, but it gets kind of sucky at the end. And then the capitalization pisses me the fuck off. So, 6 out of 10. And also, there were cliched things such as Silver being a ghost, and Red and Blood, and hyper-realistic, and Celebi being in chunks. Wah, wah, wah. So, yeah, we're giving it a 5. To all my smart viewers, as some of you will know, that's about 2.5 out of 5. Which, if you're a normal person, you would know that equates to a broken marriage out of 5. Oh, God, this was shit. Anyway, as always, I am Chronic with the Eutonic, and here we go, ending off another video. Start the fucking outro.
Hey everyone, it's Chronic. I know I'm very late, as always. This time especially so, because I missed the Christmas deadline again, and I want to apologize, because this was supposed to go out before Christmas, So I'm just gonna be grinding out videos that we promised. I am so fucking sorry. Misa's sorry, Anakin. Please don't break Jar Jar legs. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, send it to all your friends and tell them that it's dumb or whatever. I don't know. Still, though, I'm sorry. We're working on the videos. The Christmas video will come out later. First, the collab with NG will. So there will be that, alright? I love you all. I'm very sorry. Gamer Girl time. Out.